So have you ever been in a car and hear a song coming through your speakers and instantly remember all the words? Do memories of another time or place, and this is usually the case, events, flood your brain? That happens to me all the time. If I'm on my way to work or even walking down the street and a song hits my ears and bam, I'm somewhere else. I remember the good times and the bad times. I've even had it happen to me when I'm just walking around not really looking for music at all. That happens a lot in grocery stores. Not really sure why. But that's what this channel is about. My music memories. Things that flood into my head while hearing that song. This song will always remind me of working midnights. The song is 3 a.m. by Matchbox 20. This story starts off at the very beginning of my career at the grocery store. You see, going in, I really didn't have any ambition of working in a food store. It never even occurred to me. Not once. Although now I can't really think of anything else I'd rather be doing to support my writing habit. I randomly dropped off a resume one day to the store. I handed it to an employee behind the video rental counter. You see, back then, our store would rent videotapes. I never thought about it again. At about 5 p.m. on the following Friday, I got a call from the store. It was the owner asking me if I was able to work midnights. I immediately said yes, to which he replied, "Great. Be here on Monday night at 11:30 p.m. No interview or anything. Just luck and, well, I guess, a good resume." Without really thinking about anything besides the joy of finding a job, I got dressed up for my shift, put on a nice white long-sleeve dress shirt and black dress pants. My first day on the job, I had to look good. I must have looked pretty funny to the other pedestrians as they saw a guy in semi-formal attire walking that late at night. Back then, my town kind of went to sleep by 10 o'clock, unless you were at a bar downtown. When I got to the store, I could see a small crowd standing outside. So I went up and asked for Wayne. That's the name of the owner had given me as a contact. They all stopped smoking to give me a strange look. And then they started to chuckle and say, "He's inside." After meeting the midnight manager, he explained my job to me. I'm going to be unloading boxes and stocking shelves. He also suggested that I wear clothes that could survive a little wear and tear. After that night, I dressed appropriately and really got into the work. Putting up boxes and organizing shelves turned out to be very relaxing. We sometimes had interesting things happen, like a drunk guy wandering in through the exit door. You see, we'd leave it open occasionally to grab a quick smoke. But this guy stumbled in and quietly walked around the store looking for a bag of milk. After telling him to get out, we quickly locked the door. Nothing ever happened of that, but it was still weird. Or one time, the owner and several people in business suits came in walking through the store at 3 a.m. That kind of freaked everyone out. It turned out he had been escorting executives from our parent company around. They wanted to see the store. None of us got fired or anything, so I guess they were happy with what they saw. Sometimes the guys would get competitive and challenge each other to contests, like who could put up the most boxes in a minute. I remember having that one between myself and a real cocky guy. He had been there for a while, and he thought he was the best on the shift. So each of us picked a side of the cereal aisle, and the race was on. And I won, and I had more boxes. But honestly, it was probably due to the fact that where I had more boxes, they were cereal boxes, and therefore there was less product to put on the shelf. After a few months of the repetitive and boring music on dollar radio, that's what I used to call the store music that would play over the PA. I mean, there's only so much of the 70s music people could stand. And we actually did change the radio station once to Salsa Fusion or some such station. It was funny for a bit, but we quickly changed it back. Soon I decided that I would bring my Walkman and a few tapes to keep me moving. And that really seemed to work. Music actually energized me to be more productive. Usually, it would be bad mixtapes that I would make the day before. I got a little negative feedback because Wayne was worried that I wouldn't be able to hear the machinery in the back if I had music playing. So I compromised by removing my headphones when I went to the back. That continued until I finally got around to buying a Discman. So I made the shift to CDs. Eventually, the other guys followed suit. The floor got pretty quiet as we were all absorbed in work and music. It's funny that when I think of that, especially now when I walk into the store early in the morning, they all listen to music, but now it's all on their phones. I was given a full-time position running the night crew. About a year after that, the owner asked me if I'd be interested in transitioning into days, meaning no more night shifts or running a crew, and the power that went along with that title. I turned it down, as I was enjoying the power of running a crew too much, but it got old after a while. After being stuck in what I felt like was a rut, I arranged for another job at a local call center. I then casually told the store gossip that I would be quitting. I made sure not to tell anyone else, especially management. Then I took my 2 weeks holidays back to back. The first Monday into my vacation, I was working, well, actually training, at the call center. I seemed to be a natural and took to it very quickly. Except for the part of being forced to use a script. You see, someone at the company had written sentence by sentence what we should say to the people who answered our calls. It was a bad jumble of a mess. I don't think that English was the author's first language. It was just that awkward. So I ignored it. I managed to, using my own powers of persuasion, get a lot of sales. But of course, I got in crap for doing things my own way. Before the end of the first week, I asked the manager what hourly pay he received, so I had something to work towards. He told me. I paused. It was less than I was making at the grocery store. So I thanked him for his time and quit right then and there. When I returned to work, the store manager seemed surprised that I had come back. "I thought you quit," he said. I looked confused and said, "Well, whatever gave you that impression?" Soon after that, the owner came up to me and offered me to slide into a day position. I accepted the offer, and that was the end of my midnight career. Whenever I think of Matchbox 23 AM, besides the ironic song title, I'm still reminded of the strange peace that would overwhelm me whenever I would be working those midnight shifts. Running up boxes, kind of mindlessly, is a very, very relaxing and kind of zen experience. It allows your brain to do other things besides stressing about life. It allows you to come up with story ideas about your favorite songs. Thanks for diving in with me to my midnight adventures. If you've ever found a song that was so ironically named that it hurts your brain, please let me know in the comments below. It's always nice to hear from another music lover. And if you've liked what you've heard, please like, comment, and subscribe.